Hello everybody and welcome back to the Chan. In today's video we are taking a look at something awesome. 5 live action show tours based off of the 80s and 90s cartoons and TV shows we grew up with. I don't know about you, but I actually didn't know about a few of these, and I was pleasantly surprised. So let's take a closer look at these, and in the comments down below, I'd love to know if you've heard of these 5 live stage show tours before, and did you attend any of these events back in the day? Here we go. Number 5, the Masters of the Universe Power Tour.
Hey kids, guess who KBOS TV12 is bringing to Vancouver?
The ultimate family adventure. The Masters of the Universe.
He-Man and the Masters of the Universe was an American animated television series based on Mattel's toy line The Masters of the Universe. It ran for 2 seasons, totaling 130 episodes between 1983 and 1985, and was one of the most popular cartoons in the 80s. We follow Prince Adam of Eternia, whose alter ego He-Man is committed to protecting the secrets of Castle Grayskull from the likes of Skeletor and countless other foes. It was time to take He-Man on the road. 4 semi-trailers, 2 buses, a portable Castle Grayskull, and a cast and crew of almost 50. The 1987 Power Tour. The same year that the live-action He-Man movie starring Dolph Lundgren was released. $3 million live stage performance that toured North America and put on about 19 performances, all of which were sold out.
I, Skeletor, have arrived!
You have a lot of nerve coming to this planet and endangering the lives of our Earth friends.
The 90-minute show was co-sponsored by Mattel and a few other companies, featuring acrobats, a blacklight circus, simulated explosions, awesome costumes, elaborate props and stage design, lasers, and more. We all know that He-Man and his gang are no stranger to a little flamboyant fashion every now and then, but I think the Eternian balladeer Songster tops them all. Songster was a character created specifically for the Power Tour and served as a singing narrator during the performance. He wore an incredibly colorful costume, and in hand was his wondrous weapon that was both a guitar and an axe. The main stars of the show were, of course, He-Man and She-Ra, who were a husband and wife team in real life.
To share our culture,
our stories, and to tell you a little of our beloved homeland.
He-Man, She-Ra, and the heroic warriors are transported to Earth to share their Eternian culture and history with the children of Earth. But Skeletor and Hordak and the evil warriors disrupt the show and threaten to wipe out the Masters of Good as well as the entire audience. A highlight from the show includes the Power Race, where the fate of the universe lies in the outcome of a roller derby race by both the heroic and evil warriors. A full video of the show was actually shown at a PowerCon panel, and the actor who played the villain Ninjor during the Power Tour has actually uploaded some footage of the show here on YouTube. Number 4, the Mortal Kombat Live Tour. A live-action tour for kids based on a video game where they rip people's spines out? Mortal Kombat was originally a video game, whose initial release for arcade in 1992 certainly proved to be popular. With deadly punches and kicks squirting blood at every move, the excessive gore and brutal fatalities helped spark the creation of the ESRB video game rating system. Following the mature game's popularity, the franchise sparked 2 PG-13 movies in the 90s. 1995's Mortal Kombat and 1997's Mortal Kombat Annihilation. To the surprise of some, an animated children's cartoon was also created in 1996 called Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm. It was during this time in the mid-90s that the popularity of Mortal Kombat was truly taking a hold of the world, and the lovable barbaric characters were about to come to life. Enter Mortal Kombat Live Tour.
It was great, man!
You've played it, you've seen it, Now live it! And make sure you buy lots at the gift shop! It was a martial arts theatrical stage show featuring Mortal Kombat characters, music, sound effects, and laser light effects. In order to save the Earth and rescue their friends, 3 fighters must band together to retrieve a magic amulet from the evil master of Outworld, Shao Kahn. The show debuted at the Radio City Music Hall in New York City in 1995, followed by a 200-show road trip tour into 1996. 200 shows, with 2 separate touring companies running simultaneously. The show utilized a lip-synced script mixed with music, martial arts, video game moves, and even dancing. This was meant to be a family-friendly event, and therefore there were no fatalities or graphic violence as some kids may have been expecting. And some of the characters may have been a little lackluster compared to their video game counterparts.
The violence has always been around. What martial arts and this show has to present is all positive messages.
Number 3, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Live. Okay, this next one was technically not a cartoon, but it was a kid's show, so I'ma stick it in here anyways. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was an American live-action children's television program that first aired in 1993 to 1996 for 3 seasons. The campy show proved to be popular, soaring to popularity alongside its action figures and a film series. The show was originally based on the Japanese Super Sentai series called Keiyoru Sentai Zuru Ranger. I totally butchered that. The show follows a group of 5 teenagers with attitude who become the first team of Power Rangers on Earth, led by their mentor Zordon and his robotic assistant Alpha 5 against the evil witch Rita Repulsa and her minions. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Live was a live stage show that ran between 1994 and 1995, sponsored by 7-Up and featured the second season team of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Oh yeah, right, I've heard that before.
Please, cover this witch!
The show tells the story of how the Power Rangers defeat Lord Zedd's plans to take over Earth while trying to defeat Lumentor, the Fire Lion. The show was a sort of stunt show with some very light martial arts, fighting sequences, and a few flips here and there. None of the original actors from the TV series played their characters on stage. Instead, stage actors in Power Ranger suits played out the show with pre-recorded audio provided by the original actors from the TV show. A fair amount of video footage was used during the show from the TV show and footage taken specifically for the live show tour. The tour traveled across the US, including a stop at the Radio City Music Hall in New York City and even made a stop in Toronto in Canada. Number 2, Pokemon Live.
Gotta catch it live. Pokemon Live.
Pokemon is probably one of the most popular and successful franchises of all time, and it is abbreviated from the Japanese title Pocket Monsters. The first Pokemon games came out in Japan for Nintendo Game Boy in 1996, which allowed players to catch, train, battle, and trade 151 creatures to become a Pokemon Master. A Pokemon trading card game was released that same year in Japan, and it became a hit. The popularity led to an anime series based on the games, first premiering in Japan in 1997 and is still airing to this day. The main character in the series is a young Pokemon trainer named Ash in the English dub version, along with his sometimes naughty Pokemon Pikachu, who travels the world catching Pokemon to become a Pokemon Master.
Who are we? Team Rocket!
There's nothing to be here.
We'll beat the darkness and we'll stay right
Where our dreams come true.
Sigh, aye, aye.
I am the world's most powerful Pokemon.
Then here's your chance to prove it.
Pokemon Live was a 90-minute staged musical show based on the Pokemon TV series using similar characters, clothing, and story elements. The show uses a few songs previously released on the Pokemon anime soundtracks, as well as a few new ones created for the tour. We follow Ash, Misty, and Brock as they travel to a contest to win the much sought-after Diamond Badge. But the event turns out to be part of a plan by the evil organization Team Rocket and its diabolical leader, Giovanni, in an attempt to take over the world. There didn't seem to be too many special effects or elaborate set designs, but the Pokemon puppets and suits were pretty neat, but it seemed like the stage always had a lot of empty space on it. One funny side note is that the Pokemon light swords that were sold were essentially flashlights, and during the entire show, children would annoy the actors by pointing their lights at the stage and ruining the black light effects. Both a TV broadcast and a video release of the live show was advertised, but was never released, and future tour dates were planned, but the live show was ultimately cancelled. A few reasons for its cancellation were that the production costs were too high, the show was not advertised properly, and the show came out a year too late, as the Pokemon craze was largest in 1999, and therefore the project was not financially successful. After the show finished up in the US, the show did go overseas to a few select locations like Dubai. But this show was not the same as the US show, with a smaller production budget, less special effects, cut characters, and a smaller runtime. And number 1, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Coming Out of Their Shells Tour. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles first found themselves in a comic book created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, 4 superhero anthropomorphic mutant turtles named after Italian Renaissance artists, Michelangelo, Donatello, Leonardo, and Raphael. They were trained in the art of ninjutsu by their rat sensei Splinter in New York City, where they fight crime, monsters, aliens, and their arch nemesis, Shredder. The original animated series ran from 1987 to 1996, with over 190 episodes. The franchise soared to popularity with a toy line, video games, movies, and loads of merchandise, peaking in popularity in the early 90s. Kids couldn't get enough green, so you can bet everyone was excited to hear in 1990 that the Turtles were coming to life. The 1990 Coming Out of Their Shells tour premiered at Radio City Music Hall, featuring the live-action Ninja Turtles playing together on stage as a band, with Leonardo on bass, Michelangelo on guitar, Donatello on keyboard, and Raphael on drums and saxophone. The tour was sponsored by Pizza Hut, who gave away posters, Coming Out of Their Shells audio cassettes, and official tour guides as premiums. The Turtles even promoted their tour on Live with Regis and Kathy Lee, Larry King Live, and Oprah.
You know, Oprah, what we got here is a guy that breaks things so he can fix them.
Oh, you wanted to see him fight, right?
Uh-huh.
But they'd rather not fight. Is there one of the turtles you like more than the others? I mean, like, is there anything, like, romantic or anything?
The more you get to know the turtles, the more attractive they become.
The show was, of course, a musical, whose plot centered around the Ninja Turtles, who have decided to travel around the world to meet their fans face-to-face, bringing them songs and fun times. But Shredder, with the help of Baxter Stockman, attempt to stop the Turtles from making people happy with their D-harmonic convergence converter, to steal all the music in the world, and they also kidnapped April O'Neil. The musical scores were essentially all a variation of rock and roll, with a few other song styles mixed in, like an awkward slow ballad by Splinter,
I'm skipping stones,
and a rap song by Shredder, who raps about how much he hates music.
I hate music! I said I think it's the worst!
Leonardo and Splinter were the only characters on the tour to have the same voice actors as in the 1987 cartoon series. The first showing of the tour was broadcast live on pay-per-view, and a VHS recording of the broadcast was later released. Highlights from the pay-per-view broadcast include a gator that got his tail caught,
Hey, once you get cracking, man, you're totally rad!
And Shredder insulting members of the audience.
Shut up, you imbecilic little punoids! You know, I think I've seen your face on a milk carton recently. Is that your mom? How would you like a one-way ticket to my Technodrome?
It's said that 2 suits were created for the tour, one used for the tour itself on stage and one set for the backstage clips. The backstage suits don't look anything like the stage suits, so it must have been very confusing for kids seeing those on screen. The tour is now notorious for its subpar costumes, giant dark green spots all over the turtles, mouths that hang open or don't open at all while singing. Many have called this tour cringeworthy, but I say, to a kid, this must have been super exciting if you were a Turtles fan. After the tour's first run, it then went out on a second run to smaller cities called the Getting Down in Your Town tour. The show was scaled down to a reduced budget, and a few characters like Splinter were cut. So there you have it, everybody, 5 awesome live-action tours from back in the day based on some of the shows from the 80s and 90s. And remember to let me know in the comments down below if you ever attended any of these tours. And if you didn't attend any of them, which one of these would you have most wanted to go to? So please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I come out with new videos every week. Come check me out on social media and help support the channel on Patreon. So thank you all so much for watching, and stay legendary.